You look like an angel.
You are an angel. Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Operation Evil. This is episode number 62, Covington's Sweetheart, the story of Judy Green. And before we jump into Judy's story, we got a couple listener write-ins to go with the theme that we have been doing with the Halloween stuff, like the spooky and paranormal experiences. So we thought we would share that first. And this is coming out on Halloween, so happy Halloween and be careful and don't eat candy with razor blades in them or something. I never understand why people are so paranoid about that. We covered this in an urban legend, didn't we?
Sticks. Yeah, because remember the pixie sticks?
Oh, yeah. There was something in the pixie sticks. But because the dad did it. Spoiler alert.
Wasn't it cyanide?
Yeah.
Cyanide?
Cyanide, yeah. It was. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and by the time you're hearing this, the Patreon bonus episode will be up as well. I am doing that one this month. It is on the Amityville Horror House. And do you have anything else? Did I miss anything?
It's going to be exciting. Get it? Like axe.
Exciting. Yes. Exciting. All right. Thank you for the listener write-ins too. I just want to throw that out there. We appreciate it. And if you guys want to keep writing these in, we can sprinkle them in or save enough for a whole episode or whatever. They're fun to do. Fun to read. So this one's titled Man in Black. It says, back in my sophomore year of high school, my friends and I decided to go trick-or-treating for Halloween. Myself as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, Danny as a Valley Girl, and friend Lois or Lewis. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Lois.
Okay. I had it right the first time. My friend Lois and her sister dressed in their jammies and Alexis as a nun. After the eventful evening, wandering all of the back streets of the neighborhood subdivisions, our crazy bunch of girls wandered back into the subdivision. As we made our way around part of the subdivision circle that is the opposite side of where my house is located, I was walking along the curb, balancing with my basket and Toto and my bag candy. As we came up to my friend's house, which sat on the entrance of our subdivision, our Valley girl states out loud, "Oh my God, that guy is staring at us." Of course, at this time, all of us look up and see a man standing 3 houses down from my friend's house. Now, being a small neighborhood, everyone knows everyone, and we surely did not know this person. He stood tall in all black with eyes, and they were dark, and he had pale skin that was almost white, like Neo from the Matrix. Oh, I love that description. Just looking at him sent chills through my body. It felt almost like a moment had passed, and within a second, Lois pulled me from the curb. As she did this car came speeding past and hit the curb where I was standing. Ooh. The car still brushed along my basket and the edge of my skirt. Oh my God. Time slowed at that moment before I fell with Lois onto the ground on the side of the sidewalk. None of could believe what happened or what compelled Lois to pull me off the curb. Even she didn't know why, but a feeling led her to. When all of us got ourselves back up and turned to look, the man in black was gone. Was death watching? Was he giving us a warning, or was he waiting for me to die? Oh my God, that's creepy.
Goosebumps.
I know, I was going to say, I have chilly bumps. Chilly bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder, that does make you wonder. Was it the Grim Reaper? I don't know. She got really lucky. I mean, it brushed against her skirt and basket.
Yeah.
That's
Her friend was
terrifying.
really looking out for her.
Oh my God. What a good friend. I hope they're still friends. This one is called The Little Girl. After I graduated high school, I started working with my friend Clarissa at Target. After work, I would often go hang out
Aw.
or go dancing. One day after work, we headed back to her duplex she rented before heading out to dinner. I needed to go to the restroom, so I went upstairs to use the bathroom, and she was downstairs getting something to drink from the kitchen. After I came out and I looked over and saw someone playing in her son's room, I said, "Hey, buddy, what you doing?" Confused, Clarissa calls out from downstairs, "Who are you talking to?" I replied, "TJ." Then she replied back, "He's at his dad's house." I couldn't help but to look back into TJ's room, which is now empty. I made my way quickly down the stairs, and she proceeds to tell me, "Did you see the little girl? She just comes and plays every now and again. I often see her outside too. She leaves once she's done." That's scary.
That's almost similar to your story in that one house.
Yeah, but I just heard a kid giggle. She legit had no, like, she didn't go, "There's a ghost there." She's like, hey, little kid, how are
Yeah.
you? How are you, little kid? And her friend's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, that's creepy. So she's
Mhm.
obviously open to seeing things for sure. I don't know. And
What's really cool about her too is like, so I know this person. She has a lot of really cool like superstitions and stuff.
I love it.
You got to talk to her.
I feel like we would be really good friends.
She's got more stories.
Yeah.
She's full of stories.
That's amazing. Like, yeah, she's obviously open to experiencing things. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I think that concludes our scary stories. I do have a couple that of friends that have stories, and when I get those, we'll put those in a future episode and set them aside. But yeah, send them in. Now to Judy Green. This was suggested by a listener too. I had not heard of this case until they said something, but I know you had contact with people about it and you really did some work behind it. So I can't wait to hear it whenever you're ready. I am ready to hear about Judy Green.
Yeah, one of our listeners, it's a local listener in Kentucky. I had never heard about her either. And there's really not a whole lot of articles out there about her or about what happened. The ones that are out there, they all kind of say the same thing. But I had conversations through texting with Judy's sister, and the pain, I believe, is still very, very real. This happened in 1971. And so Judy's sister was like, I want to say she was 12 at the time. And also, let me mention that there is a Facebook page that everyone should check out. It's called Gone in the Fog. And it's this woman that I'm not for sure. I apologize. I don't know if it's a friend or a sister. But this person that the Facebook page is about, her name is Cheryl, and she was murdered years and years ago, and they're still looking for the killer.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I mean, she has done some like investigative work. Yeah, you should go look at that. Like, read everything she's
You
got.
said her name was Cheryl?
It happened. Yeah, Cheryl Spiegler.
Okay.
This happened in, is it Ryland Heights or Highland Heights, Kentucky?
Okay, yeah, we have both.
So very, very close to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about Judy Green. Judith Green. So imagine, like, the picture that I saw of her, she had really short hair, and it was really straight and super, super blonde. Like, she looked like she lived in the sun in the summer, like, just outside playing. It was so blonde. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, dude. You're going to have to do a lot of editing here.
You're fine.
Judith Ann Green lived her life, it seems, as like a little mother. Like, she was, from all the articles and things that I read and the little bit that I talked to her sister, Joy, she seems like she was such a little mom. She loved animals and she loved babies. She would babysit for her aunt. I think it was like 2 little toddler age boys that her aunt had. Her father, there was like a quote in a newspaper where he's talking about how she loved to clean. Like, her sisters, she had 2 sisters, Amy and Joy, and Judy was the middle child. And like, if they offered to help clean, she would insist on just doing it by herself. And she would clean like the whole house.
Oh my gosh, what a perfect child.
I know, that's what her sister said. She was a perfect sister. Joy said that they all took ballet and tap too. So they, did some dancing and stuff.
Oh.
And yeah, and one of my most favorite things that Joy told me was that, because I asked her, I was like, did she love animals? And she said, oh yes. So I saw in an article where she had rescued a cat and a dog, both.
Oh.
But this is my favorite part. Joy said that one time she remembers Judy playing her flute. That's what it was. I asked her, like, if she liked music and stuff. But anyways, she was playing her flute to a box of kittens in the attic.
Oh my gosh, that is the cutest.
I know. I was like, oh, I feel so special for her sharing that memory with me, because I just thought it was the cutest thing.
It is.
She was in 5th grade. She attended 6th District School in Covington. And she was also a little Girl Scout. She was in Troop 127.
Oh.
She came from a very well-respected family, a very nice house. Her parents, Boyd and Beverly, raised their daughters in Covington. And they attended church regularly. And I think it was Joy said that Judy loved going to church. Because, it's like most kids would be like, oh, I don't want to go. But evidently she loved to go.
Aw.
Yeah. Boyd, Judy's father, worked at the overhead door company plant in Covington. I don't even know if that's still there.
I think it is.
Is it?
I could be totally wrong, but I feel like
it's still there. I wonder if it's like a little like family owned kind of business, like a smaller business.
Yeah, it's still there. Overhead door company.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Crescent Springs.
Oh, okay.
If it's the same one anyway. It looks like they have several locations. I'm looking right now. Sorry. I'm just curious.
I know, because when I was reading about what they did for a living, I'd never heard of that place. Maybe it's more common than what I thought.
It's probably one of those where we drive past it all the time and not realize it. But yeah, it's in Crescent Springs.
Okay. So I don't know if I said the year, but this was 1971. And then Beverly, Judy's mother, she worked as a nurse. She worked at one of the St. Elizabeth hospitals. Now, at that time, there was a hospital in Covington called Booth Hospital. Have you ever heard of that hospital?
No.
I hadn't either. And I Googled it. And I guess it was an older hospital, but I didn't really investigate into it. So maybe our listener that suggested this, maybe she knows something about Booth Hospital. But there's a connection there.
Okay.
So on May 2nd, 1971, Steve Martin, which I think is whatever, his name is Steve Martin. Like, because when I would Googled his name, everything, of course, would come up about the actor.
Yeah, it's a very common name.
Mm-hmm. Steve Martin was this person that Judy's parents had met about a year beforehand. He was a criminal. He had been in and out of trouble throughout the years, and they met him and tried to help him, like, rehabilitate him. So Steve, he just became friends with the family, and he liked Judy. Joy says she remembers she didn't like him, and she believes that he was like grooming their family. So he ends up one day, he coaxes Judy away from her friends. And most of the papers that I read, they say that he was like, oh, go to the store with me. But according to Judy's sister, knowing that Judy loved babies, he asked her to go with him to see his sister's new baby. That's how so what it was Judy was at her aunt's house playing, like in the front yard with a friend. And Joy had said that Judy had been at a Girl Scouts meeting, and that her friends, like, I guess after the meeting, her friends were trying to get her to go with them. But not for sure the timeline, but somewhere or another, Judy ends up playing in her aunt's front yard. Steve comes along and says, like, hey, will you go to the store with me? Or you want to go see my sister's new baby? And she leaves with him.
And why wouldn't she? He's like a family friend. He's no stranger. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
So this was about 6 p.m. Like, she was last seen at 6 p.m. And then, like, her father was still at work, and, like, her mom was still at work. And, like, the aunt was like, wait a minute, like, people were starting to notice, like, where is Judy? So between the hours of 6 and 7, people see him and Steve and Judy together, like, walking toward Licking River. I think it was, like, under the 4th Street Bridge, like on the bank there.
Okay.
So, like I said, Judy's father, like, him and the mother, they leave work, and the father is like, I guess he's thinking, like, well, maybe she's at Steve's house, because, it down there, that area, it sounds like to me, the gist I got from it was like, it was a small neighborhood. And at that time, everybody kind of, like, watched out for everybody. That's how I'm visualizing. And just by interpreting things was like, oh yeah, I saw Judy. She went with blah, 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 like, just asking around.
Right.
And meanwhile, the aunt had called, and I don't know if this was Beverly's sister or not, Judy's mom. Not for sure the relationship there. But anyways, the aunt calls Judy's mom and is like, she's missing. So Judy's father, he heads out. He goes over to Steve Martin's house. And as he's there at the house, the police is there. And the police deliver some bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So while this is going on, while Judy's parents are looking for her, there's this little boy. He's about 11 years old. He sees Judy on the bank of the Licking River, and this bystander hears this little boy scream. So the bystander goes over and he sees Judy. Judy was found partially dressed. They could tell she had a severe head injury. So this bystander picks her up and takes her to a nearby house, and this house, there happened to be a nurse. So this nurse, she does her best to make Judy comfortable, cares for her. And then it's within walking distance, I assume, because they said that this other person, this third bystander, carried Judy to Booth Hospital.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the aunt and Beverly, Judy's mom, they end up making it to the hospital. They ID. They say, yes, this is Judy. Now, the police the whole time, they are looking for Steve, and that's why they're at Steve's house when Judy's dad is there. Because at the scene, they find these medals, like army medal kind of things, like the pins, that you would wear on your uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They find those, and Joy had said something about a badge, like Judy had pulled the badge off of his shirt or something. So, and then, like, as of course, in the newspapers and stuff, they just said some kind of like physical evidence. They didn't release what it was, but later on, they found out that it was these army medals. But like I said, Joy told me that it was like a police badge or something. Well, she said badge. She didn't say police badge. She just said badge. There was a rock that had blood all over it. And then Steve's clothing had blood on him as well. So, and the reason why this guy was like in the mind of the police is because the night before, police had picked Steve up because they saw this guy walking with this army uniform on, and they're like, something's not right. It was like a little suspicious. They knew he had a criminal history, and so I guess they checked him out and then just let him go. Not too much information about that, but the police and officials in town, they were aware of him. Like, I guess because of his criminal history. There was like one weird thing that I read where it said like he had told like a judge and a detective or something, like that he was gonna like do better and make something of himself. It was odd. There wasn't much to it, but like it just seemed like out of place or something. Like, why would you say that? I don't know.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for Judy like pulling that pin or badge or whatever off,
Yeah,
like they probably wouldn't have connected that as fast.
that's the way I see it.
Wow. Okay. So that was really good that she grabbed that.
Yeah, I asked Joy, I'm like, so I'm guessing she was really smart, and she said she was.
Oh,
That she was
wow.
a straight A's, really good student. Now, Steve, he was convicted on August 6th of 1972. He was charged with murder and tell me if you've ever heard of this charge, a habitual criminal. Have you ever heard of that charge?
No.
Now, he did not get
Maybe
any
they just
time
word it differently now.
back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was sentenced to life with parole. And I've got like a breakdown of like his because I looked him up like for his current incarceration, and I'll go through that too. But what really like frankly pisses me off about this whole thing is that during the investigation he denied knowing the family.
Let
Like
me
they
rewind
did.
you back to Judy. So she died at the hospital.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'll get to that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I totally skipped that
You
whole part.
did. You went straight to the charges, and I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, like I'm all like, ugh.
Yeah, I know it is. It's like she's just a baby, you know?
Yes, it makes you angry.
It does.
So yes, like within that time that the police had picked up Steve, shortly after they got Judy to the hospital, she did die from her injuries. um I'm not for sure. Well, I'm guessing that her mother and her aunt got to say goodbye to her because it just said that they ID'd her, so I'm not for sure about that. So that makes me incredibly sad. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So it was a severe skull fracture, and within like that hour, Steve was arrested.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So yes, he was sentenced to life with parole. He was in his late 20s. And like I said, Beverly and the husband Beverly had actually met him through the Kenton County Jail work release program. She was working as an assistant for that program. And Beverly and Boyd, they try to help him by giving him money and encouragement. And then, they were thinking maybe like military discipline would complete rehabilitation that they had started for him. But like, I guess like when he went into the Army, he used an assumed name and they found out that he was a criminal and he was discharged. But when he was in basic training, like they were writing letters. He was writing letters to them. Like they had visits and everything. So that's just what makes it even worse is they went out of their way to help this guy.
And then he turned around and did that. Ugh.
Yeah. And Joy also pointed out too that there was people that had said that he had lived with them at one time. And she said he did not. He did not live with them. So it was just purely that Boyd and Beverly saw this man that needed help and they were just doing the right thing, trying to help him get on his feet. They saw potential in him and that was it.
Right. Oh my gosh. Did he confess to doing this?
You know what? I couldn't find anything that said that he did. But it's interesting that you say that because he did appeal. And I'll share the link for that, but it's a bunch of bullshit, really. Like, I was reading it and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but evidently his nephew had commented on this and said that he didn't think he did it, that he was innocent. But I don't know why, because his medals were there at the scene.
Right. Sometimes I think family just has a hard time
accepting.
Accepting what kind of person their family member is.
I mean, this guy, like, he was a repeat of like burglary and breaking and entering. He was arrested once for driving a car without permission. In 1981, so he's in prison and he gets another charge for promoting contraband and 3 years is added to his time for that. Before that, in 1978, he attempted to escape. So 3 months was added for that. And then
he was not bright.
No. And then like I was talking earlier about the habitual crime thing, that charge. He didn't receive any time for that, but he got life for murder. So he went in 72. Yeah, so went in 72, tried to escape 6 years later, and then in 81 he got the contraband charge. He's like 80 years old or something now, and every time that he's been up for parole, he's been denied. The last time was July 2021. And I didn't see any updates or anything about it, but it just said that he's still an active inmate, and that's where his ass should stay.
I wonder if the family has to go to every time he's up to be released. I wonder if they have to go and try to keep him in.
Isn't it like, is it a law that like the family has to be notified, but they have a choice? Maybe. I'm not good with that stuff, but I don't know. I have so many questions. Yeah.
Oh.
I want to mention too that Joy said, I told her, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, but she loves to talk about her sister. She said, I miss her, but talking about her helps. And if it would help one little girl or one boy, then Judy did a good job. And I love that too. I so agree with that because it's almost like you can just, even in the words, you can read her pain. But when she talks about Judy, it's just it's like she lights up. You can just see it.
Right. Oh, yeah. And if she wants to come on and talk about it or anything, that would be amazing too.
Yeah, because it's important for, not to forget about her sister.
And, I mean, I know we're a little bit, well, we're not in the same exact generation as they are, but you grow up with stranger danger talks and stuff, and it's
Mm-hmm.
usually always someone you know.
Right.
And it was very smart of her to kind of leave these clues behind.
Yeah. And I just wonder too, just by what we know about her, I wonder if she would, try to help him too. Like if it just sounds like she was a very caring child, like I said, like a little mom. Like, did she make sure that he didn't go hungry, or she probably made sure that he was okay?
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Did you look at the pictures of her yet?
No, no. Are you going to post those for everyone?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think I did see like one picture of her, but it was quick. So I need to like actually take a moment and see. I wonder, so he's in Kenton County Jail right now? The Steve guy?
Uh, he. I don't remember where he's at.
He probably is.
He might be. Well, he's in a penitentiary.
Hmm.
We can look it up real quick.
I was just curious on.
And the thing is, too, like the picture I saw him, I don't know if he had like something with his nose, but he had this like bandage over it. I don't know if maybe he had like cancer or something.
Hopefully. I know that sounds awful. I'm sorry.
It's so hard not to be opinionated
I
on
know it is.
with
It
these,
sounds.
but you know what? Like,
I'm just
it's
saying what you're thinking.
yeah, agree or disagree.
Yeah. I'm glad that he's never been out. And I hope that he has I don't know. I hope the universe gives him what he deserves. How's that?
I think you're on. I think yes, yes, I agree in every single which way.
She was just a baby.
Oh, I'm trying to find. I can't find it. Damn it.
That's all right. I was just curious. I'm just thinking out loud because it's
Oh
our
wait, here
backyard,
it
you
is.
know?
Yeah, he. Crap, it doesn't say it on here either. It's got like his conviction information and all that, but unless I'm missing it, I don't see where he's being held at. Usually, oh, duh. Kentucky State Reformatory.
Oh, okay.
Is that Lexington?
Don't know.
Like, I'm gonna show you this picture.
Oh, you have to screenshot that and post it. He looks like a monster.
The thing is, though, when he was younger, like, he looked like a totally different person.
Well, post that too. I want to see this monster. I want everyone to see what a monster really looks like.
Looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Disgusting.
Well,
okay, I looked it up. It's in LaGrange, Kentucky.
It is LaGrange. Okay.
So there you go.
That's still close to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe about an hour away.
Should we go there and visit him?
The thing is, too, like, I don't know if he had any family. And that could be another reason why the Greens wanted to help him. Maybe he didn't have any family.
Probably. I don't know. Thank you so much for telling that story. And I know she went through a lot of stuff to even find the story. It was very difficult to find information on it. You did great.
Thanks. Thank you, Joy, for sharing some, your personal details with us and things about
Absolutely.
Judy.
Yes. And thank you for whoever suggested this. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know about her.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and say until next time. Thank you for listening. And if you have any comments or want to reach out about anything, you know where to find us. Facebook, Operation Evil Podcast at gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Happy Halloween. Goodbye.
Bye.